Welcome back, everybody. We let Kim open one episode. That'll never happen again. I'm Handren Seavey.
I'm Kim McVicar, who was. I tried my best, everybody. I tried. I failed.
It's okay. It's okay. Um, we are talking about what was the name of this episode again? The beauty pageant
Beauty contest.
contest.
I'm pretty sure it's contest.
Now, what again? I'm going to say they did use this well. This plot device of we're going to have a beauty contest, but what another weird thing to just like bring in to to set up an entire episode around.
But this is my favorite episode. Like last week was my least favorite episode, and this is
Hmm.
legit. I remember watching this episode and I remember taping this episode. It was so good.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm looking to see if I could have something here. I
because
thought
it's such a fun romantic uh girl doesn't want to do something, and then all of a sudden she's pretty. It's like such a chick one, which I love. um are we gonna get
Now
into
we don't want to get
that?
taken off, so I won't play anymore, but I think that can be just enough. Yeah, it was okay, so the episode starts with once again they in the bedroom?
I think so.
I watched this last night too, but I forget exactly where it starts. But then they talk about the what is it, Miss Windjammer?
Yeah, what a name. Let's
Yeah.
go, Miss Windjammer.
Well, do you know what a windjammer is?
Not even close.
It's a type of boat. It's a
Oh,
sailboat.
then that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why they had it there. But this definitely brings in a lot more, which has not been talked about as much as the wealth gap within Cape Side, and how there are a lot of very wealthy people there that their kids do not go to Cape Side; they go to other different private schools.
Of course, which makes sense. You know what I mean? This is a beach summer town. So yeah, it's getting into the real nitty-gritty of everything.
Okay, so the beginning of this, when this might have been the beginning part, is where once again we see Gramps again, and he fucking. Uh, I think they've been listening. I think somebody from the past,
There's a time warp where they were listening to our podcast.
they were listening to our podcast and us complaining about like how long has it been in this first school year, because Grams gives an entire she goes, in the past, she says it's been 3 months since Jen got there. That she pretty much recaps everything that's happened to the grandfather.
Mhm.
He's been apparently in a coma there with other than an IV, no other medical monitoring devices or anything.
But Grams is a nurse or was a nurse.
Great. How's he breathing? Um,
She's praying him to breathe.
and then he just comes to out of a coma and can speak and can move, which does not happen out of comas. Usually people can't speak at first, they have to learn all of their motor skills again. He just comes right up and says goodbye, Jennifer, when she goes off to school, which he's been in a coma since before she got there too.
Does he die in this episode?
No, it is the next episode. I read the recap of it, and it's the next. They think everything's fine in this
Right,
one.
but what I'm saying is typically people before they die get really like a burst of like, "Hey, let's party,"
Oh
and
yeah,
then die. So that makes sense to me. Maybe not
yeah,
straight out of a coma, but like if his body's about to die, you get like a jolt of like
yeah,
liveliness and then you peace out.
yeah. And she says he's woken up. He has to go back to the hospital for some checks and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he's up. And then we all,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, he's just popped up like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory's grandfather.
That's so true.
Um,
That's exactly what it looks like.
yeah, and then they start talking about so Dawson has to cover the Miss Windjammer pageant. His
Has
mom
to.
is
He
going to.
wants to. He
Yeah, he
wants to. He's
he
been
wants
begging
to
his
for the
mom every
news.
day for years so that he can have a
She's a
director's
judge in
role.
it.
She is a judge, and she gets her son a job to direct it. Obviously, I mean, we all have seen him. He's been in the studio using their whole team for free. So,
Yeah.
clearly his mom is
Yeah, for an anchor
smart.
lady, she really has a lot of pull around there. She's not even a producer. She's just the fucking
She's
anchor lady.
doing all of them. That's
Yeah.
what she gets it.
That's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad's not around. Never see him in this episode. Don't know what he's up to.
No need, no need. And then the Gramps pops up and it's like a 1 second thing. It's literally Jen just being like, my grandpa's good.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
cuts
Yeah.
to everything else. Like that's really just
And then,
setting up for the future, I think.
yeah, for the next episode. But so then they're talking about it, and basically, Pacey gets the idea that he is going to enter. Oh, because he wants to move out of his house.
Right. Yeah. So Pacey's dad has been so mean for stealing the car from
Yeah.
the last episode. So there
Yeah.
is like a linear time frame, which is nice.
Yeah.
And he is like, well, I need to move out. My dad told me that if I ever want to be emancipated, he'll sign the paperwork.
He'll sign the paperwork immediately. So Pacey starts
I get
looking
the
for an apartment.
feeling like Pacey's character is that character from um, the Breakfast Club where he's getting beaten at home or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. By a sheriff.
Yep. 100%.
Because his dad is a cop also. His brother and his dad are cops.
Yep.
Um, and there's not a lot of black people in this town, so they got to take out their anger on somebody. It turns out it's their family.
He had to go there.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And so he decides he needs money to get out of here. He finds the Miss Windjammer, and he sees that as his ticket. $5,000. He can is the what you win.
Right. And Jen is like, I used to be in pageants. And Dawson is like, really? I could tell because you're so beautiful. What did you do? Twirl a baton? And she immediately gets offended and is like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you say that? And I twirled a baton growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My mom
I
was
can see that.
Yup, 100%. My mom was a fire baton twirling teacher, and she like won a bunch of awards back in the Dizay. So she made me take it. Was her class. And I used to compete in baton twirling things.
Now, is this because fire ones are different than like just the person who's which
You have
I
to do the
do.
regular ones before the fire ones. And my
Okay.
mom wouldn't let me do the fire ones because she said my hair was too big. Because I have really big hair, and she was afraid that I would light it all on fire.
And you couldn't, put it back in a ponytail or anything?
Exactly. But also, this is like I've been taking it since I was like 8 to I probably quit
Yeah.
at like 13. It's probably
I
like
was
not twirling a baton anymore, mom.
You were twirling baton. That was my big juggling years. I was a big juggler.
Nice.
Would do, pins and balls, the Diablo, the devil sticks too, which is the
I had
hippie
those.
equivalent
I
of
had those. I loved
yeah.
those.
Um
We should go on the road.
as a fucking circus act again. I've already tried
Stand
that
up
life.
and side tricks. What a nightmare.
But it is a weird thing, but the people who are like what are they called in like marching band, there's always the person who leads, yeah, who does the
That's
baton.
more like keeping the rhythm. There is the baton twirlers. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
still twirl a baton really well. Like I
But
could throw
some
it
of
up
that
in the
shit
air
is crazy. Yeah, like when they do the high throws,
and
catch it behind
spin
the
like
back and
twice.
shit.
I could do that easily still. Like throw it up,
Yeah.
spin around twice and grab it.
Um but and then later during the pageant there is somebody doing baton twirling.
Oh, as a person who was a dancer and still is in the dance world a little bit, those talents, I was like,
It was
correct.
rough to watch.
Child's wrong. I was but it's a local pageant, so yeah, I get it. But I was dying on the inside, which is
Oh my
another reason
god,
that
yeah.
I love this episode so much because it brings me so much joy to watch bad talent. Oh, so much joy.
So then Jen convinces, after Pacey decides he's going to enter as a male, Jen convinces Joey that, I mean, basically, she hits on Joey for 5 minutes to convince her she's pretty enough to compete in this.
And my favorite line is she's like, "Why do you always get so shut down when I say a compliment about your beauty?" And Joey's like,
Yeah.
"Because it makes me uncomfortable."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking
Does
weird.
everything but like physically assault her to
Well, she's
try
already
and
touched her
convince her.
breasts, like we know. She's
Yeah.
like, "Great breasts." So yeah, and then Joey's like, $5,000 for college. Yeah, I'm the broke girl. We know this. I have got to do
Yeah.
what I got to do. Um, Also, I do
And
get good grades. Okay.
Jen goes, I'll coach you. As far as I could see, there was no coaching done other than just you're tall and hot, you can do this. That was all the coaching that
There
happened.
was one coaching scene where she put the book on her head and made her walk in heels.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that should have been a montage. That
Yeah.
part was so frustrating that I was like, this is like the perfect romantic comedy scene for time for a montage. Let's watch
Yeah.
Joey turn into a woman,
Which was basically the movie Miss Congeniality.
which is my favorite. Yes, Sandra
Of course.
Bullock. I love Sandra Bullock.
You know what? I find it more plausible that Joey could be a beauty queen than Sandra Bullock could be.
You are saying some hateful. Oh,
Ugh,
you do
she
not want to
is,
talk. La 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 la. I love Sandra Bullock so much.
and I bet you love mayonnaise too.
You do Miracle Whip though, specifically.
Yeah, and Sandra Bullock is the miracle whip of actresses.
She's so good. She's so good.
She peaked at Speed in my
Oh, Speed was good too.
my
Everything she touches is gold. Are you kidding me? She did that movie where she married a Canadian for a green card. Thank you very much.
Ryan
So good.
Reynolds.
Yep, love it. Everything she does is
Um,
amazing. She just needs to stop fucking with her face.
and with Nazi bikers.
I don't care if she does it in her own life. That's her choice. As long as she keeps bringing me romantic comedies with quick scenes, and that's what this one was missing.
Yeah, did not have the montage. Didn't have it. Could have done it with Pacey as well. No montage with Pacey.
So I was waiting for some montages, especially when he
Mm.
was like doing his talent. Okay, so they decide to enter, and then this character comes back who Pacey clearly had hit on in third grade or something weird.
You know what I loved about the reference of this character? They called her so and so Bar Harbor.
Bar Harbor.
It is in Maine. It's where the Rockefellers have a house where they created Acadia National Park, maybe the second or third oldest national park in the country. It is a very rich place. It was a perfect reference to the bourgeoisie of the Northeast.
You know, you are so in love with geography of the show, and you're shitting on me for loving Sandra Bullock. That's all I'm saying. They're equivalent. They're both perfect.
Yeah, she is the 2D map of actresses.
This is what happens after I ride a high from opening this podcast. Now I'm all the way down at the bottom again. Uh,
But yeah, so they bring in this day player, who apparently everybody know. I forget what her name even was.
I can look it up, but she comes in and she's like, "No, I'm just here to win the pageant. Bye."
Yeah.
And then it's set up that this pageant is always fixed every year. All of the tropes of pageants are set up.
Yes, and the it is such a weird group of people watching this pageant with between teenage children. I don't know. It was that whole thing of it where it's happening to, like, it's the tiniest little stage. Did they not have a budget for any sort of fucking studio to set it up? It was so weird.
I might I'm losing my mind because if it's who I think it is that played that character, I'm a friend of hers.
No shit.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Well, I'm friends with someone in this episode. Okay, that's so random. Um Anyways, yeah, this whole episode is the coolest episode of Dawson's Creek. They go and enter the pageant, then they sit there, and then the owner of the pageant is like, you can't. Oh, before we even get to this, so this is the day that they're signing up. So Pacey's signing up. Dawson's directing the film towards like, oh, there's a dude running for this is great for my directing skills.
And very relevant to today with like trans athletes competing and stuff. He's trying to compete in this beauty contest, saying, why does it have to be just for women? Why can't I do it too? He was a real boundary pusher in that way.
And pageants now do have male and female things, anyways.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Just Miss America doesn't, I guess, because it's Miss. But I bet you they will do some trans eventually, right?
I
They have to open it up to that.
100% think they will. Yeah.
They have to. Yeah. Anyways, so this episode, yeah, Pacey is signing up and doing the paperwork, and then Joey signs up and has the paperwork. Well, Jen does the worst acting I've ever seen, So Dawson is in between the two of them. They're on the patio. Uh, Joey is filling out the paperwork with her pen in her hand, and Dawson is talking to Jen like, "You're signing up." Da, da, da. And Jen is like pointing over across Dawson to Joey's paperwork. And Dawson is so dumb that he's still like, "You're doing this?" Like, it is proving like how dumb Dawson is, where he
Yeah.
doesn't look at anything but one thing in front of his eye. He doesn't open up his world at all.
It is true. In his defense, though, a little bit, I think he was thinking like this is the type of thing Joey would shit on.
Right, but
And so he
Joey
kept,
has a fucking pen in her hand and the paper, and she's
oh, you're saying
filling
like
it out.
yeah, he couldn't pick up that. Yeah, yeah, I get you.
Like, you watched her grab the piece of paper, you're talking next to her, and Jen is pointing at the paper, and you're like, "Jen, you're doing this?" "Oh, Joey's just filling it out for you because she's like good like that." And then Joey's like, "No, it's me, you jackass." And then Jen's like, "I'm gonna leave you two alone and watch Pacey burn over there." And then he's like, "I would never make fun of you for doing a pageant." And Joey, in true Joey fashion, is like, "You just did. You just did."
Lori Rom, is
Yeah,
that the person you know?
I think so.
Yeah, that was her. That Hannah von Schneiderberg or whatever it was. He calls her Hannah Bar Harbor.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you know her. Let's get her on the show.
I think I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking myself.
And then who? Oh, this is the winner too. Now we'll get to this at the end, but that winner, whew, out of all the people, whew.
Well, that's why they did it. So they show the winner a little bit, so you know it's coming, which is great. Uh, yeah, and then I can't. I keep looking at photos. Okay, I gotta walk away. I'm looking at Dawson's Creek photos instead of.
Yeah, me too. I just
Huh?
was on my phone. It's fun. So yeah, they set up that it's gonna happen. Dawson you know, pretty much fucking fumbles it with Joey again.
Always, he's like, "You're not pretty."
Yeah.
Basically, he's like, "You're not a girl. What are you doing?"
And you know what she's wearing when she's signing up?
What? A Jacob
A
sweater?
sweater.
I love it. So she signs up, and then they do the little meeting where all of the contestants are sitting down, and the owner of it is like, "These are the rules. Obviously, we'll change them next year," to
Yeah.
Pacey. And then the girl, Miss Vaughn, whatever, is sitting behind him, being like, "I can't believe it's you doing this. Of course, it's you. You're always a jokester. No one takes you seriously." And he's like, "Let's give her Miss Congeniality, Ryan." Ha ha ha. So he tells a joke when he's being told that he always tells jokes.
Yeah. And this is very much setting up because he has the confrontation with his brother as well of like, are you just going to be the fucking joke of this town?
I don't remember seeing his brother in this.
Oh, maybe I watched into the next episode and that happens, but I thought it was in this one
It
where
could
he
be.
was like riding his bike and yeah, because he was riding his bike and his brother stops and is like, are you really going to do this? You're just the joke of this town. Or is that who you're going to be? Maybe I'm fucking it up with it to the
I
next
also
episode.
could just be thinking of Joey in this because
Hmm.
so good. So then, Jen does train her where she teaches her how to walk with a book on her head. And she's like, "This is the hardest part. Should have been a montage." And
Yeah.
then it cuts to Pacey singing for Dawson's dad. You see the dad back.
That's right. For that one sec, he's like, "Can you do anything else?"
Yeah. And
Because
he's
he's singing, what is it, New York, New York?
something like, "Oh, wanna be-" Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be a part of it. And he's genuinely, I think. So here's what I wonder is because later Joey sings, he's singing here. I wonder if they were actually, if he's ever actually been trained and did like musical theater as a kid. And so he's like trying to sing bad, or if that was him genuinely trying to sing.
I don't know. That could go
Because
either way.
it does seem like somebody who is not like trying their hardest, but trying to act like he's trying his hardest. Like I think he could actually sing.
I could see that. I mean, him carrying a
Yeah.
better tune than he did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that. I could definitely see that. And then the pageant starts, right? Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's day of.
And they walk
Mrs.
in
Larry
and they have
Gale's
to do an
there.
interview. And she's like, "Wait, I have Dawson's the interviewer." And they're like, just get through this. And she's like so not nice in that interview that if they did take that footage, she's screwed. She shouldn't win.
Yeah. And also, this is where they do get a little montagey with like the skills and stuff like that. There's one girl that does like she's wearing this weird like fire onesie and does basically the dance from Flashdance.
Yeah, my favorite was the person who says, so the talent portion of this is the
Yeah.
talent portion. There is a woman who goes, I am the cow or whatever.
Oh yeah, there's somebody doing like a Shakespearean thing as their talent.
But about a cow, I died. And then the one that as a dancer hurt my soul was the chick who put her foot on the chair and lifted her arms and pushed the chair down. Cause her
That's the one I was saying. She was doing like the flash dance because first she flips over backwards
and
off
not
the
even
chair,
good. It's not a flip. She like legit just uses whatever. It's like a
like
walkover.
roll. She like
Yeah.
does a
Let's not
backwards
give her
roll
more
off the
credit
chair.
than she
Yeah,
deserves because that was fucking stupid. And
but
then
it's just weird, like a teenager doing like a dance on a chair, like a stripper dance on a chair type thing.
I mean, nowadays you would expect it. But her shoulder line is so bent and her elbow is so up that like I never watched La La Land because of the poster because it's Ryan Gosling, right? His arm
Mhm.
line isn't right, like the way that his shoulder is lifted. I wouldn't watch the movie because I was like, if they can't take a good photo of him dancing, then he can't dance. And I was like,
What's wrong? What's this fucking shoulder lines?
I have to see the line again, but it's like broken in a weird way. And yeah, you can break a line, but it's like broken in a weird way that I was like, nope, not
So you're
watching.
saying like if your shoulder's up, you should have like a straight
It
line
should
like
be
this, and
down.
like,
It just depends
or it
because
should
like
be
you
like
can do like I
you
think
don't
you
want
can
like
do
that.
yeah, you can do like a bent like Fred Astaire style, but it shouldn't be
Yeah.
like off and weird. And I wouldn't watch that movie because of that. And so like arm lines bother me a lot on dancers because it doesn't take any fucking skill to put your line together. Like it's not you don't have to be flexible to
Yeah.
lift your arms properly.
You
If
just
you
have to dance in a mirror and see, know what your body's doing. But there's so many people that don't like. Sometimes when you see people who've never played sports or anything run, and you realize you have no comprehensive way of your entire body working together.
if you see me run, and I used to be on track and field, when I want to run fast, my husband makes fun of me a lot for them. He calls them my blades because my blades come out. And he's like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "So I can cut through the air better."
Yeah,
You
you
do this,
think?
and you're blocking the air. But I legit like pump my arms so hard and bring out my blades when I need to run
Oh yeah.
fast. Uh, and then I'm winded in 5 seconds.
But yeah, you can definitely see some people who just like you see it too if you go like golfing with somebody who's never golfed before and they have no idea of like it starts with your feet, comes through your hips, and your arms are the last part that come through, and they're just like they can't figure out how to make their entire body work as one unit, like it's all attached.
Yeah, you are such a skier. It's making me wish that someone did a ski thing as a talent portion.
I know, or
Like a
there
pageant
wasn't a
show on a snow hill where you had to like ski down and do your makeup all the way down and be pretty by the end. Now that's a fucking talent show.
well, don't worry, they do. I believe it's got to be in the next season, if not the third. They go skiing
No, but I'm saying in real life, I want there to be a beauty pageant show on a ski
on
thing
skis.
where you have to like start at the top of the hill and by the time you're at the bottom, your makeup has to be on.
Yeah. The best they have, I mean, there's regular competitions, and then there's one called it's like the Aspen 24 hour, and it's just whoever can do the most top to bottom runs in 24 hours.
Ugh.
And you just go straight. You just keep skiing
What a,
straight for 24 hours.
and you have to pee or eat or something.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can stop and do all that shit, but somebody might catch up on you. So, it's like 24 hours Le Mans, the car race where it's just who can do the most in 24 hours.
Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, and then you see like there's a ballerina in the Dawson's Creek episode. There's a baton twirler. They have all of the tropes of a
The
thing.
baton twirler might have been the same as the ballerina. I thought they had her spinning it and then they panned down and she was up on points.
Oh, I thought they were cutting on points.
Is that what it's
And she-
called?
no, point shoes,
On
and she wasn't all the way over on her box, which is also another failure. Uh,
you said on her box.
hey, that's what those ladies have to do. Yep. And then Joey comes out, or Pacey does first, right? No, Joey comes out to do her talent first. Yep. Joey goes out to do her talent and she sings the worst song. Like she's the worst singer of all time. They didn't
Now
try to
that
fix it.
I don't know if that's her really singing.
It has to be. Why wouldn't you want to be good? I
It
think it's the
sounded like this weird child voice that I guess I thought they picked a child yeah, and she sings from The Miserable, Les Miserables, which is fitting for Joey. Like, of course, she's like, let me pick the most depressing fucking thing.
pretending he's beside. That's like a song you learn growing up. But you can
Yeah,
tell she had a vocal coach because you can tell she's not a good singer. And then they had her lower her voice like, uh, the my name is all alone. I walked it. She does like this weird like breath thing at some point, which is definitely like a training thing in vocals where it's like
yeah. I don't know. It's such a weird voice, though. It's like an Alvin and the Chipmunks type voice that she sings in, and and they do the
and she sings
entire
like
song.
that's what I was like, what? This could have been
Yeah.
this could have been the montage. But my thought process is they probably spent a lot of money on that song.
So yeah, they're gonna use the whole thing, and
So
then
bad.
they're like, Dawson, this is your acting time. This is where you fall in love with Joey.
But it's so much of a close up of her singing.
Yeah, and she has that
The
weird
river's just a river. She like
that weird mouth thing that she does, and her shoulders, like she can't be not be down in her shoulders. Like she never like has her shoulders down and head up. She's always just like, my Joey
yeah,
and I love Dawson.
and she's a little bit like Jean Chrétien, where she's like had a little bit of
She
a
got a little
stroke.
of the palsy.
She's got a little bit of like her face is dropped because whenever she
Yeah.
does that sad face, she does that like tilted
Yeah, just
lip thing to try to be cute, and it's not. But I still loved it. But I just wish it was only 1 second.
yeah, they did not need to do the entire song, and then they pan out to like it's just a bunch of old people watching all of these teen
It's not
girls.
good. But
Yeah.
my favorite thing in general is so Joey is Joey and is not pretty in Dawson's eyes and never will be. But then they put up her hair, which is
Yeah.
the opposite of every movie where it's like the chick takes down her hair and then she's hot. No, Joey, they were like, we got to show that neck.
Yeah. And what they do eventually, she does take it down, and finally it's not the straight, like just down parted on the side. Like she's got the like, let me take my hair down type thing afterwards. When she goes, I'm just Joey. Like she
And then while she's singing the longest song of all time, Pacey is leaning into Jen's ear going, did someone make someone a little too pretty? Is someone upset that Dawson
Yeah.
is watching? Um,
And at some point in this, Pacey finds out the whole thing is rigged.
yep, he goes up and answers some questions or something, and he's so good. Like,
He basically does stand up.
right, but he's so dreamy. Like from
Yeah.
a teen perspective, this is when all the girls are like, fuck Dawson. Pacey's where it's at. Like
I don't know why any girl would be into either of these guys, but
I mean,
okay.
Pacey, I get. So Pacey goes over to Dawson's mom and is like, how am I doing? And she's like, oh, you're so good. You're not going to win, but you're so good. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Like he genuinely thought he had a chance because he'd seen so many Miss Congeniality movies that weren't out yet.
Yeah. And he's a straight white male. I mean, you know,
Okay.
he should be able to win this. This is still the 90s.
I
He
was
should be able
thinking
to take
there
whatever he wants.
thought that he was going to win this.
Yeah.
And then Joey goes in the back, and these girls are making fun of her, and they're like, the only way she's winning is because she's poor and her dad's in prison for pot, and like
Yeah.
they're mean, and she goes to cry because that's what Joey does. And then Dawson is like, no, Joey, they're only being mean because they think you're gonna win.
Yeah, they're threatened by you, and so they
He
have to
does
make the
Yeah, he does a nice speech there where he's saying like he's proud of her for stepping out of her shell where she used to not be able to do like classroom presentation.
yeah.
So like that's sweet. It's not like overly annoying. And then Pacey is like, I'm not doing my magic tricks anymore. I'm gonna get them with my acting skills.
Yeah, which also apparently Pacey is a magician, which has not been brought up. He's setting up all these cards that keep shooting off here and there.
Doesn't mean he's good at it.
No. And then he goes up and does, and now this must have been, I want to look up real quick.
Let me
This must have been right when Braveheart came out.
You cannot take away my freedom. He's so cute in that. He's
But
so
he's
cute.
also like, I'm gonna go rip him a new one, and then really doesn't rip him a new one.
Right, but he was so good in it. He put paint on his face. That was dramatic. Oh, I'm telling you, every girl was like, yes, Pacey. And by every girl, I mean me.
Okay, so Braveheart was 95. So it's about 3 years, 3 or 4 years old at this point. So it's a well-known speech or whatever trope, almost outdated for the time. They almost could have come up with a better one to do, but he does the William Wallace speech, but as Pacey, and about how he's not going to be oppressed by these rich people or society standards that a straight white guy cannot get whatever he wants.
Also, he doesn't want everyone to think he's the class clown.
That's true.
So,
Yeah,
what does he do? He puts paint on his face.
he paints his face like a clown.
Yeah, that's like so weird. He's like, I want everyone to take me seriously. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take
Yeah.
some paint. I'm going to put it on my face.
Stop you right there. That sounds real clowny. That sounds a lot
Oh,
like a clown.
we forgot. There is a moment. Gosh, this is my favorite episode. There is a moment where
Keep going. I'm just gonna
they
close
put
these
the
blinds a little bit.
Vaseline. Jen tells Joey to put Vaseline on her lips, and she says it's for smiling. And then it's Dawson telling Pacey his mom says put Vaseline on your teeth, and Pacey's like, "What's it for?" And Dawson says, "I don't know." But the way he says "I don't know" with that smile was like the first time I watched that show and was like, "Okay, that's why." Joey likes Dawson. Like that was the one glimpse of a click where you're like, okay, he could be a cute guy
Just because of physically how he looked.
because of the way he said that one line where he was like, I don't know. And it was
Oh,
funny and it was cute and that was it.
yeah. You have weird taste. Um,
You should see my husband. He's a
you're married to
troll.
James Vanderbeek, aren't you?
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. What would you do if he like secretly was always on the other side? Like what really happened was they cut that. Just have
That
to
would be
skip.
awesome. That would be awesome.
Probably
Also, it
never
would
have him on
mean
the show.
he was also like what, at least 15 years older than you.
Also, it would mean that he's just listening to me talk about how much Pacey was better than him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what you're doing to throw people off.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they he does the whole William Wallace thing, which I thought, I forgot that's what he did, when I thought he was going to go up and do stand up and just roast the place.
That would have been better.
Yeah, but I also think like the whole thing of roasting wasn't quite around then. I
Prob-
think that's what they would do now. I think if they redid that episode in this scene now, they would have him go up as a comic.
Yeah. And then then they have the question and answer portion, which is like, what would you tell future kids? And Joey handles it very good and is basically like, give poor people a chance. She says it much nicer than that, but it's like a
Yeah.
good speech. And
It
then
was a good speech, a bit of a slam dunk on her end. However, a little prepared. Like it was like she got the question beforehand and had the perfect supposition to say.
she probably didn't.
You
Supposition.
think it's rigged
Good
like the
job. Good
presidential
job.
debates? You think they gave
Those aren't
they gave
real.
her?
Yeah, so she answers the question great, and then there's like some ditzy girl this whole time who's also very funny, who is
Oh
just
yeah,
like, what I want to be when I grow up is people say I'm pretty. Also maybe a doctor. That character is fun. What would I tell everybody? Like wear makeup or something. She does something like that. And then Pacey answers it pretty good.
yeah. I forget what his answer even was or what it was about.
And then they announce the winners. And the
Yeah,
winner of the third place runner up is the girl that you expect to win who comes back into town,
yeah,
right? So she gets third and she's pissed. Second place is Joey. She wins a ticket to the hair barn.
yeah. It was the beauty barn.
The word barn is in there.
Yeah, and also, what a fall off with prizes. It goes 5 grand for first place. Second place, a free haircut.
At the
Third
beauty
place,
barn.
third place, I think was like a
Go watch
coupon
a
for shoes or something.
no, it was like to go watch the opera or something. I felt like second place was the
Oh,
stupid
right.
one.
But then the girl who wins it is ooh.
But you've seen her along the way. So like all of the times you get to see her clips right before Joey, so you knew she was
Oh, is
gonna be
she
there.
in there? I
She's
didn't even.
she's the one who they like Dawson is talking to before Joey sits down for the interview. And she's like,
Okay.
I'm a senior at Cape Side. I got into Juilliard. She says like all these like little quick nuggets that you're like, oh, if she's got into Juilliard, she's got good talent.
I'd have to check it out again to see.
She's taking off a year to do something else. Yeah, so her character does have character spots, but she's like not prettier than Joey.
No, not prettier than Joey or the other girl at all.
No.
No, and her hair is just down. Her hair wasn't done at all.
But they also say that it's rigged the whole time. So
Yes, yeah. And then so Joey apparently won't have money for college.
nope.
And they end it, and then they step outside, and I forget who speaks first, whether it's Pacey and Von Trapp or whatever.
It's
Um,
Dawson and Joey first, and then
okay.
Dawson's mom pops up at the very
Oh yeah,
beginning. Or they're walking out. It's all three of them, and she's like,
yeah.
"Great job, Joey. You know I voted for you." Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then she's like, "Do you guys need a ride home?" And Dawson's like, "No, I'm gonna try to fuck her. We'll walk."
And
Basically,
then they have the whole speech of Dawson without ever saying it. He never comes out and says it, but is basically like, "Oh, for the first time, I thought you were attractive."
yeah, he's such a dick in this. He's like, Joey, you were phenomenal. I no,
Yeah.
I think he says like for the first time, like I do think he says something like that.
He never explicitly says it though, because she's just like kind of saying like, "Just say that you like me." And like all you had to do was be like, you've always been my best friend, and now I'm attracted to you. Like I think if he had put it that straight up, it might have been a thing. But that's when she was like, "Look, I'm not this. I'm Joey," and she
I
takes her
love
hair
that
down.
speech because it's
And
so fucking Joey, and he doesn't deserve you, girl. He took
yeah,
too long to find out your beauty. Yeah, you right. That's how I feel.
very true. But yeah, I don't know. They're just both fucking it up in every way. And all he had to do was wait till the next day. Like if he had said the next day when she's back in her normal shit, like, and expressed his love to her, then it wouldn't have seemed like it was right after you saw her try and be pretty for the first time.
Or not talk about her beauty. Talk about her
Mm.
singing. Oh, you're singing so good, so
Yeah.
brave. Also, I have to mention this because it made me laugh. Before all of this, when Joey's doing the longest song of all time and they're wrapping it up and they say the winners. No, it's just when Joey's singing before they say the winners. The guy, he like puts his eye in the camera, like steals it from the cameraman, which would so fuck up the shot. To like look in it like he doesn't have a monitor. And then he sees Joey and he's like, "You got this, right? You guys are gonna clean up. Peace." Like, and
Yeah.
it's basically like camera people who are like normally were the DP, and you're just getting this for a credit because your mom is who she is.
Yeah. We actually do this for a living. We work for the news station, and you're a child.
100%. 100%. And you're in love with another child. So, yeah. So then they go out. Jen sees them talking and is like, I did do too good of a job.
Yeah. And then don't worry, she shoots her shot at the end.
And,
Uh,
and then
but then Pacey has and I think they went back and fucked. I think Pacey nails the rich chick because he pretty much goes up and consoles her, and then she's like, "Look, being rich isn't it all it's cracked up to be. I've
I
been
haven't seen
home,
my parents. Yeah.
yeah, 22 days in a year is all I've ever am home, and my parents weren't there when I went home, and blah 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 blah."
And why isn't Pacey like, wait, you got an extra wing in your house that no one knows about? Like, can I just live there?
Yeah,
Because he's trying to move. He should just move in
yeah,
your house.
yeah. He doesn't know how to mooch that well.
No, he's actually a nice guy.
For
He's
who
so
he is, though,
dreamy.
you'd
He's
think he would be
so
more of a
dreamy.
moochy boyfriend.
Yeah, but he's so dreamy. Uh, then Joey is like, Dawson, I'm not this. She takes out her hair. And she's like, I'm just Joey. Tomorrow, I'm just going to meet Joey.
Yeah.
Just a girl across the creek. I've wished you'd looked at me for forever. And then Dawson goes home alone, blue balls in hand, very sad.
And
And
then Jen is there.
Jen's like, hey, I'm into you.
Dawson. Yeah, I
And,
know I was wrong before, but I'm ready now.
and
Ready and willing.
Dawson's
And
like,
Dawson's like, I just stopped liking you. God damn it.
he's such a nice guy. Like, Is there a guy?
He is nice in the way that I feel like any other guy would be like, "Oh, you want to get down now?" Like regardless of
Yeah,
his feelings, would have just started
made out
making
with
out
her
with
a little
her.
bit. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I gotta figure this out, but yeah, we can make out. Um, that's what I was thinking. Like he's the only. We're. I guess there is guys in high school. There were a few. You weren't one of them, but there were guys in high school that like legit didn't try to sleep with you.
yeah, they were gay. They were gay men, and
No,
that
I
were not
dated
out.
one. My high school boyfriend was definitely a Dawson. Like he was definitely a guy who would be like, he would just be like, I'd say something about sex or not sex, but like the idea of it, and he would be like, "Yeah, of course I want to, but I respect you." Like all of those kinds of things. Uh,
Oh, I wouldn't trust that guy.
I mean, we dated for so long.
Those are those tend to be the secret creeps.
Oh, so it's a good thing that I didn't marry him.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. What's he doing now? Do you know?
I think he's like Morgan Stanley, like one of those, like high up at Morgan and Stanley.
Oh, okay. So yeah, those are the worst people of all who have fucked over our economy and everything several times and have no morals. So
I
I was
will
right. I
say
was right.
every guy I've almost ever dated became very financially successful after I broke up with them.
Mm.
I'm a great
Oh,
motivator.
nice.
I'm a great motivator.
Yeah, you're like the anti-muse.
It's like the second I leave them, they're like, you know what? I do need to work hard. Fuck
Yeah.
women. And then they get their groove back.
Um. So yeah, Jen is like, I secretly, not secretly, but she pretty much just says like, I want you back. And Dawson says, I don't, this, why are you throwing this
Not
at me
right now.
now?
Yeah, not now.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Joey in the mirror and that song of her singing again on my own. And she kind of like is a shitty Britney Spears in that. Pretending it's that
Yeah.
breathy. It's like when Britney tried to do a ballad and it was like, no, 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 just shake your rump,
Yeah.
like do what you do. Uh,
The I'm not a girl, not yet a woman.
yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah.
Was that out at the same time? Because that could have been the voice she was trying to
Possibly, if not like Hit Me Baby One More Time, probably was.
but it was definitely like a Britney ballad, it felt like singing wise. And then Joey's in the mirror brushing her hair, kind of like putting it up
Yeah.
to see. She's like,
You know what?
I
I might be a sexy bitch.
am. Yes. I love that. That's what movie. That's a fucking movie. This episode was a movie. It was such a girl movie. I loved it.
It was weird though that they didn't just play. They must have not had the rights to the actual song
Or
that
they
they.
heard it and it made her sound even worse. And they were
Yeah,
like, "We can't play the good version. She sounds like a nightmare."
yeah. But yeah, that they played her singing again, I felt was weird.
When that episode came out, the amount of like because people used to write up about it all the time. The first thing everyone talked about was how bad her singing was.
Oh, really?
Like it was a very popular topic.
It's just nobody taught her. She does that strained. It's like trying to push the song out opposed to relax and letting your natural vocals come out. Nobody taught her like how
She
to
definitely had a
really
vocal
sing.
coach. You can tell because she did like some pauses and stuff, but she was famous. So if you're, let's say she got a vocal coach just for this episode and she's famous, you kind of got to go with what she wants to do. You know what I mean?
But was she yet? That's what I wonder is were all of these filmed before any of them started coming out?
I think that the first four were, and then the
Yeah.
rest. Yeah.
And then they're filming as they're coming out.
And that's why some of them are just filler and shitty.
Yeah.
'Cause
Um, but yeah, then she's sitting there and she fucking Joey gets her groove back. And yeah, and then we head into the final two episodes of the season. Or is it final
I
episode?
think it's the final episode.
Yeah, because we
It's the
went 11, 12.
final
Yeah.
countdown. Yeah.
So we got the final episode of season one. And yeah, I will spoil a little bit because I started it just
Don't
started playing and
spoil it.
no, I just want to say this. It is in the very beginning, it is just complete references to final episodes of or season enders of TV shows. They're talking about like season enders of TV shows in the season ender of this TV show.
Oh, that's fun. But also, this was the best episode of all time. I love it when,
Um
girls are like, I feel pretty now.
yeah, it was all right. My favorite episodes come later.
Thus
There's a
far, what's your
couple in
favorite?
high school.
So far, what's your favorite though? If you had to go up to now,
Let me look real quick.
Has
And
to be that one because it's so nice. You did that. What did I? So you've got the pilot, which we, whatever. Then you got the
yeah.
dance, which is the one where he punches that guy out. The kiss, which is when they see. Actually, the kiss is a pretty good one because the kiss is when Pacey fucks Miss Hannigan, which is not her name, but
Oh, Tamara. Yeah. Yeah, that one was good.
and then the discoveries when they watch the tape, the playback, Hurricane,
I liked. What
Vacation,
the fuck is going on?
Baby, Boyfriend, Road Trip, Double Date.
I think my favorite was. It might have been this one or
It was this.
the two ago where Joey and where Pacey shoots his shot with Joey.
Oh, that's a good moment, but this whole episode is good.
Yeah, because but also that like that sets up something that then comes to fruition in the next season. And I like that they start doing this and they start it's not just a single standing episodes. They're starting to link it together and make it be like a full dramatic series, and something that happens in the beginning of a season can take the whole season to pay off.
This is when the show became popular, so they were
Yeah.
aware that they would get picked up, so they were like, "Shit, we got to write some episodes that make sense."
And I think that we will really see it come to not fruition, but starting with season 2, they start thinking of entire season arcs, and really like thinking long term with the show and where it's going to go. Because right now it's been little stops and starts of characters getting together with a couple episodes that mean nothing to the rest of the fucking series, but as soon as like Dawson's dad dying, stuff like that, like that's when they really get me hooked as far as like it's a good teen drama.
But the river is just a river.
And I see you.
And at night, I creep into your window. I wish they had done it like that. And then I see your dick when you are jerking off to what was the show we jerked off to?
Katie Couric.
Carrie Couric. And I know that Jen is on your mind. Oh, see, I could do this all day.
Ooh, and it didn't happen this season, so it's got to be next season. The Jen's mystery half sister comes in for like a 2-episode arc.
We'll see. We'll see. But we still have the final episode next week.
Yes.
Season
Oh,
1.
and one thing that did happen in this episode that we said at the beginning, but I just love
You
to
said that like we're in
reiterate
a rush.
this.
It's a podcast.
I know we can go as long as we want, but I also have 16% battery.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
I got to go find a cord. What I love about this one is that the timestamp of you learn everything in the entire first season has happened in 3 months.
That's great.
So Jen and Dawson dated and broke up. So they were never together for
Jen's
more than
fucked
probably
a
a
lot
month.
of guys.
Yeah, she's dated
Not dated.
another guy. Yeah, all this thing. Her sister, Joey's sister, had the baby. The affair happened, the split up happened. It's only been 3 months.
I love that.
I love that. They are in. Let's see, if it was September, October, they are November of their sophomore year right now.
Can't wait for Christmas.
I wonder if they do a Christmas episode in the next season.
I have to at some point.
It's got if the next season does not start off in winter, or at least explain fucking that winter's past and it's springtime, I'm gonna be very upset. Because they have not even got to winter yet. It's like they haven't even gone in this one they mention a little bit that the Windjammer beauty contest is the tourists ends the tourist season.
Yep. I just love how frustrated you get with the
It really, because seasons and weather shape so much of living in the Northeast.
I'm picturing you in your 70s or your 60s, and this is the same thing you're saying. Like,
If I make it that long,
not
absolutely.
what it was. The weather. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to wait for the season finale next week, you guys.
Exciting!
And we got a lot set up now. Will Dawson and Joey fucking finally make it happen?
I think they will. It's a season finale. They got to.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
We love you, India.
We love everybody.